For the next 30 minutes, we will explore the unexplained. From mysteries beyond our galaxy to ghostly phenomena in our own backyard. We will dive into our psychic abilities and explore everything from conspiracies to the just plain weird. Welcome to 30-odd minutes. If the truth is out there, we will find it. But only by sheer accident.
Hey! Yay! All right. Hey, welcome to 30-odd minutes. Camera 2. Ooh, hi, guys. Welcome to 30-odd minutes. I'm Jeff Belanger, and I'll be your host tonight for a very special Paranormal Roundtable Part Deux for you non-French speaking people, which is probably most of you, because that's kind of how our audience is. All right, we've done this once before, but tonight we thought it would be a lot of fun to actually open up the phone lines, open up the chat room. If you're joining us live in the chat room at 30oddminutes.com, jump in, because not just Sarah and Rob, but all of us are here. Hey, they all are. Quick introductions.
Andrew Lake.
Andrew, this is Rob.
Rob.
Sarah.
Matt, this is Sarah. Sarah, that's Andrew. Rob, Matt.
Hi.
Hi,
Yep,
Jeff.
I know who we are.
Nice to meet you. Good. All right. No, these are the folks that are here every week and make this show possible. Everyone does everything, in case you didn't know. Everybody's always thinking about guests, running cameras, doing the chat room, helping Andy White in the back to make all the magic happen. So it's an indispensable team here. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And tonight, you know what's cool? Look at this.
Finally got a thank you.
See that? Look at that's
the
you
chat
guys.
room.
That's the chat room tonight. We threw that up there. We're going to have a paranormal roundtable. We're going to discuss various topics and your calls. The only way to get the call-in number is to go into the chat room, or if you're on our email list, you already got it today, so you know the phone number. We're not going to give it out on the air because last time we crashed the phones.
Which was cool.
That was
Which
very
was cool.
That was really cool. So we hope to do that again. You can start calling right now. Go in our chat room if you need the number. Sarah will give it to you if you need it. It's on that other page. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight is some of the things that we talk about often. It bothers all of us. The paranormal community is often changing, and it's gotten weird lately. Not that it wasn't always weird. It was always.
It was supernatural weird, but now it's getting weird.
Now it's really getting weird. And so one of the things we wanted to talk about, just some of the things we see going on, like faking evidence, is definitely a problem. Gosh, it makes the news sometimes. We all saw that Bigfoot costume in the freezer a couple of years ago. That's a big issue. What are you seeing, Andrew?
Oh, what am I seeing? I'm seeing people who will take just about anything they catch and and just exaggerate it, to fit a story, just so they can push, the idea that, hey, I'm the guy in the area catching the most evidence. I've gone to the most places. I'm catching the most evidence. And when you look at what they have, it's obviously bugs streaking by a camera.
Right.
The typical dust or moisture orb, or possibly even, them putting something just out of the camera, to catch it. But what bothers me is how they try to push that so-called evidence to back up, like, if you call us to come investigate your location, we're going to get something. Right. Yeah, because you got your thumb, a moth, and a moisture ball. That's.
But there's worse. There's
much worse than that. But that's personally what I'm seeing in my area.
There's bigger problems. I've actually got this email not too long ago. Check out this picture, Andy. If you could bring up number 1. This is a picture someone sent to us, sent to my website. You're looking kind of to the right near the steam pipe. There's like a pretty clear outline of a Civil War soldier, and I remember thinking, like, wow, this is really cool. So amazing, really, right? So I put it up on the website, and an alert reader quickly emailed me and said, dude, that's the iPhone app. And here's another picture. This is the picture that the reader took and sent in. Number 2, Andy. He's like, there's the same ghost. He said, I could put it anywhere you want. And this iPhone application actually inserts ghosts.
I got a picture of that same guy standing on top of a roof in one socket, and I told the ghost hunter, no, your coworker is pulling your leg. And then I got the one of the little girl. They also have one that's sort of like a girl in a Victorian dress. Yeah. And I saw that one in a dormitory, and I told that ghost hunter, no, I'm sorry, that's an app on a phone.
Definitely gets around. Okay, we do have a caller. So I forgot to ask how to do this. Just hit the number, huh, Andy?
Push line 1.
Hey, you're on 30-odd minutes live. Who's this?
Hi, Jeff, it's Tiffany.
Tiffany, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Tiffany, you're often in our chat room, right?
Well, this is my second time in 3 weeks.
Well, thanks for checking in. What do you want to talk about?
I want to know who your favorite guest is.
My favorite guest is Matt Moniz.
Now, I don't know your video chats that you have.
Oh, God. You know, honestly, that's like, who's your favorite child? God, boy.
We only have one.
That's true. It's pretty easy. But I don't know. I think all of our guests have been great in various ways. Some have just been a lot of fun. Mike Brody was, stands out. The comedian. He was a lot of laughs.
Richard Felix, he was pretty funny.
Peter Robbins.
Peter Robbins.
He was good.
Very interesting.
Rob, who was your favorite?
UFO guy.
UFO guy.
His name.
Peter Robbins was a UFO guy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we also had
Rich Stolen.
Rich Dolan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh. Sarah?
I liked your on-site deal with the people in the, I think they were in a mobile home.
Oh,
Yeah,
Patrick Burns.
Patrick Burns and Marley
Yeah, they
Gibson.
kidnapped Oddbot. Where's Oddbot, by the way, today?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, he's,
Where's your son?
He's in the office.
Oh, there we
He's
go.
in the
That's
office.
Making coffee.
Sarah,
It's helping Andy White out back.
My
He's
favorite
manning the
guest?
phones, actually.
Kevin Warwick, if I had to choose
Oh,
one. Robots.
The cyborg
That guy was
Kevin.
spooky, man.
Yeah, we've had some smart people. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good.
Astral projection guy.
After
Robert Bruce. Robert
See,
Bruce.
we all have our
Love 'em all.
favorites. Very good. Tiffany, thank you for calling. We're going to free it up for our next caller.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right.
Later.
Later.
Bye. Cool. Did I do that right? I think I did. Hey, keep calling us.
think
You
you
got the
nailed
number? We'll be happy to take your call. Talk about what you want to talk about anytime. In fact, we are expecting a call. Andrew, do we have that on line 3?
Line 3.
All right. You're live on 30 Odd Minutes. Who's this?
This is Chris. How are you tonight?
Chris Balzano.
Hey.
Chris was our last guest, actually, and when we were talking about who our favorite guest was, we all meant to say Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Balzano.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Of course we meant to say that.
It was.
Let's just say there's a delay in that. I actually didn't hear that you didn't say that.
All right, I asked Chris to call right now because he and I were having a conversation this past weekend. We were on Spooky South Coast Radio, Matt's radio show, and had a great discussion going. Chris, please bring up what you were talking about.
Just some of the changes in the paranormal community. It's kind of, I know that all of us who are kind of, pre-2003, 2004, we had a certain respect for what was going on. We had a certain kind of hat off to the people who had come before us. And I look at the paranormal community now, especially its kind of presence on the web,
Right.
and I'm disappointed. I've kind of freaked out as in well, what exactly are people doing this for? Because there seems to be a lot of not only backstabbing, because that stuff is, we've kind of gone through that cycle already, but it's just this absolute non-love of the story, this non-love of really paranormal things, and this very serious attitude towards everything that doesn't allow for there to be kind of humanity in what people are doing.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. And one of the points you brought up is that, a few years ago, the Holy Grail was to put up your own website and put out your evidence that your team captured, that you captured, and put it out there for discussion. And now it seems to be, well, which celebrity's cell phone number do you have, and how many friends on Facebook, and all that other stuff.
Right, and your how many, and even hits on the website were kind of wow, this is justification, especially if people kind of, communicate back to me that, other people are experiencing this, as opposed to a popularity contest.
Right.
People were maybe kind of interested in maybe getting a book out there or something like that, but it never was, this kind of credibility through popularity, which it seems to be now.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And there's so many reality shows now, more than ever, more in development. Production companies call all the time looking for the next ghost hunters, the next, the next big thing. And people seem to be striving for that instead of, for the love of the subject. I think you're right.
Well, Chris, you're nothing until you've been on 30 odd minutes.
And you're something.
And you've made it.
You've made it.
I know, 2 weeks in a row. This is I'm starting to feel like this is my my next Spooky South Coast gig.
Hey, Chris, when's the next time we're going to have car troubles in the Freetown State Forest?
Yeah, no doubt.
Probably the very next time I go to the Freetown.
Yeah,
Or the Monster Mash. I always seem to have car trouble at the conference in Watertown every year as well. So either one of those events that I'm planning on completely destroying whatever rental I have.
Right on.
Or getting locked out of it.
Very good.
Right, exactly.
Chris, man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you sharing.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, guys.
Take
All
care.
right. See you, man.
Have a great night.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, so, Chris makes a great point. It does seem to be a popularity contest. Not that there wasn't always an element of that. I mean, people had team shirts and team
Yeah,
wear.
but they're not doing it for the wonderment of it. They're not doing it for
Right.
the, the love and the thrill of it. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But once you know me, I mean, do you?
I know, where do you go from there? But it's so easy. I guess it's easy to get caught up. I mean, why do we do 30-odd minutes?
I thought it was so you
It's
get
all
out of the
about
house
you.
and drink beer at the end of the night.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's a noble cause.
Yeah, that's true. For the wonderment of it, yeah.
That's for the wonderment. No, but I mean, what keeps you going? I mean, you've been doing this a long time. All of us here have. Rob gets dragged into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, what keeps you interested with all the mess out there?
Oh, because there's always going to be that element out there that's never going to believe it and is going to dismiss it
Yeah.
and tell me that I'm wrong. But I've had my own personal experiences that tell me I'm not wrong. And I love running into everyday people who have never had this as a part of their life because they moved into a place or whatever, suddenly start having these things happen to them. And I get a thrill out of seeing them experiencing it for the first time and saying, oh my God, there's stuff going on around me that isn't job, the TV, the beer, the cable bill. There's stuff going on around me that's just not every day, and it makes you stop and think.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Andy.
Yeah.
That's the most fulfilling part for me. The people's wonderment that something is going on beyond their everyday mundane lives.
Yeah.
And they get to experience it because they've had this thing happen in their house, or they saw this thing in the sky, or whatever the thing may be. It made them think beyond themselves, beyond where they are. And anytime you can do that, you grow.
Yeah.
Sarah? Go.
Am I on?
Wrong, next issue.
No, you know, something that I noticed that kind of stands out and makes one team stand out from another is like this eagerness to share. And I think you touched upon that. It's like, that's how it used to be. It used to be like that when we didn't have as much of an access to share it, which is the ironic thing about it. But what you'll notice is people that are trying to do something with it, they like keep it to themselves and
Sharing
they don't
has
want to
become
share.
hoarding?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to share this because I might actually be able to do something with it, like maybe get some fame out of it or get a connection with it. And that's the biggest difference I've seen is people that really want to share what they have and they want to learn from other people, and they're dumbfounded when they hit brick walls and people that are like, well, no, we can't possibly share what we do with you. Like, why would we share our secrets? It's not a secret. It never was. It's a community, and there are no right or wrong answers.
Another little aspect of what you're saying, because you're absolutely right. But the other thing that happens is you might not want to share a case with another group because they'll just come in and step all over it because they're thinking, well, yeah, maybe Yaz got something going on at this situation. Maybe I can step in and take it over. You actually
Right,
see
it's
that
become
mentality.
like a territory
So sometimes
staking.
you're not just
Sure.
being selfish that you don't want to share stuff. It's like, do I want to mess things up for this family by bringing in so and so and his group because they're nice guys, but they seem to be like hungry to get on television.
There is
So
that.
maybe I don't want
There
them
is
stepping
that
all over my
protective thing.
friend's
Sure,
house.
absolutely.
Yeah. But you are right. People are starting to get a little bit more close to the vest.
Rob is often our voice of reason because he's not so much a paranormal insider, which is great.
He's just a next-door neighbor.
Good to have that perspective. No, seriously. So, I mean, Rob is a guy that's been armchair interested for years, otherwise you wouldn't be here at all, right? I mean, what do you look for when you're looking into the paranormal?
The unexplained, obviously.
Right?
UFOs, I like.
Yeah.
Ghosts. I don't know.
Good talk.
Just follow
I
that
don't know,
answer.
I've never done
UFOs.
anything really with it.
Yeah, well,
besides the show.
besides the show. But
And a couple of ghost hunts with you.
But that's what's. I mean, I think there's a universal appeal to all things unexplained. If we knew all the answers, life would be so boring.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's great about Rob, we've talked about this last time. We won't rehash all those wonderful memories again of our ghost hunt with the pole dancing studio,
Yes,
which
that
is
was
the
fun.
gold
That
standard.
was fun.
But being a technical guy, being a guy, and I remember the discussion we had, probably in our backyards, where you said, all right, if ghosts are real and they're in the environment, you, for a living, manufacture equipment that measures everything in the environment, from water vapor to particulates to anything in the environment. You said, well, we should be able to wire up a room and figure this out.
Yes, that is true.
Right? Sadly, we didn't take much at that. But besides the point.
It only took a video camera to figure that one out.
Right, but at the same time, think about it. Technology, we were talking about this earlier, where so many people use it wrong in regard to paranormal investigation, but so many people fall on it like it's this holy grail. This is proof. This EMF meter's beeping, and so do we need technology at all?
It all depends upon what your application of it is.
Right.
If you're there to try and measure and document, and I use the word document in the sense that you're trying to at least establish that there is some sort of thing that is happening, measurable thing that's happening in terms of documentation. That's where equipment is fine. But if you're going there just to experience it for yourself and have it being a personal or emotional experience for you, then equipment isn't really needed. You are the equipment. All equipment is just a further extension of your senses. An EMF meter is your skin, whereas in your night vision is just an extension of your regular vision that you don't normally see. It just augments your natural senses. That's all that is.
Don't you think we can fool ourselves with this equipment, though? I mean,
can't you fool yourself with your own senses?
Yeah, that's true.
Good answer.
Dude, we got to throw chairs. Oh, it's close. All right, we'll save it for the finale. Cherry, yeah. So, yeah, but you're right. We can fool ourselves, but it seems like this equipment is even more prone.
No, the equipment isn't prone. It's our interpretation of what it's giving that's prone.
Fair enough. You're correct. However, so why introduce it to an environment when you're not sure anyway?
What it is the people that are not adequately trained with its usage or its principles.
Right.
Or if you're trying to use it in a way that is not engineered for, which is a lot of things we use in the paranormal. But as long as you understand the theory behind it, yeah, a 0.1 difference in EMF, which I see on a lot of times, that's a natural flux that you're going to find because there's so much ambient radiation.
Right.
A 0.1 to 0.2, even a 1 point flux in an EMF, as I'm sure Rob will agree, is nothing. Right. And all of a sudden people, it's haunted, it's haunted. No. If you got something all of a sudden spiking up, several and then back down or holding or that is consistent, that to me is a little bit more believable. But just a transient flux, no. That could be a cop driving by with his radar on at that particular time. It's a number of different things.
All right, 2 quick things. 1, someone posted in the chat room, are you guys even watching this? Yes, we are. Yeah. And 2, Sarah, what does Slime Goat say? That's pretty poignant.
Yeah, it is. He asked, will we ever see an official licensing of groups so people can open their homes to investigations without worrying that it's a bunch of kids with cameras and shack hacks?
Andrew!
Who would be the regulating body?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just it.
I vote us.
Totally.
No, I don't.
The
30 minutes.
The oddballs say we're a good group, so will you let us in your home?
I know. So you basically would get a license for hunting invisible people? I don't. No.
You carry the invisible license to go with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
I think if you're that concerned, I mean, like I said, find out if they got a website. Find out what they've been doing. I mean, you go to most groups' websites, you can tell real quick that, oh yeah, they got together. Sounded like a great idea. They came up with a cool name. Yeah. They put together a website, but all they did was take photographs of places from books that Jeff wrote. They're walking around Massachusetts taking pictures of stuff, and they got a moisture, or you look at a site like that, no, we don't invite them.
Right.
You go hunting around ghostvillage.com, not that but I'm telling you, go there. Your website has a complete listing of ghost hunters all throughout the country. That's the place to start. Go to the site, look at them.
Right, but at the same time, and I'll be the first to say that hey, that's more or less a link exchange. I can't vouch for those groups.
No, you can't.
No, you
can't.
Just
but what I'm saying is just go to them and read them. You use your own intuition. Am I
Right.
dealing with a bunch of kids that just threw together a free website, or is this somebody who lives and breathes this stuff that,
Right.
they're when they're not doing their day job, they're constantly reading and researching and networking with other people, and they've had experience in people's homes.
Essentially what he's asking for is basically a MUFON of the ghost world.
Yeah.
MUFON is being the Mutual UFO Network. It's a group that has standardized SOPs in terms of investigation. And there is nothing really like that in the ghost community.
Matt, you're getting a little shout out in there from Tropical Wolf. It's easy to tell that Moniz comes from a solid research background. Yeah,
you got him fooled, Matt.
Go, girl. Go, girl. All right, how about how this affects your personal life? I mean, think about it. The widows and boyfriends and girlfriends and children we leave at home to go pursue this. I mean, how do you balance life?
What's that?
Yeah. I don't have much of a life, Jeff. This is pretty easy for me to balance.
Bachelors.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I only do it a couple hours a week myself.
Yeah, you guys are the married ones.
What are you doing?
You have to dial 9 first.
He's calling his wife.
Line 1 and then go.
All right, ready? Got it. Wait.
Suddenly he started playing Pong on us.
So, let's see if my wife picks up.
She's putting Sophie to bed.
I don't know. She may not.
Hello.
Hey!
I saw you guys dialing and was like, oh no.
You're live on 30 Odd Minutes.
Hi, Megan.
Hey everybody.
Howdy.
How do you deal with being a paranormal widow?
It's something I've gotten accustomed to over the years. There's never a dull moment, I can tell you that.
Right. What about when I bring stuff home?
What do you mean, like?
Like me.
Like Matt.
I was gonna say demons, demons, Matt, whatever.
Yeah. Demons are easier, aren't they?
Yes. But no, it's fun, and especially, when I get to travel with you, we get to see such cool, things and talk to all kinds of people that have seen crazy stuff. It's fun, It's an adventure, and, I'm glad to be a part of it, widow that I am.
Aw, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll be home after we're done drinking at the bar.
All right, have a beer for me.
All right, love you.
Love you, bye.
All right. That's how it's going to work. We're going to call you if you don't call us. We have your number. Don't think your phone won't ring in a second. It's us. All right, very good. So, I mean, what about thrill seeking? Is that such a bad thing? I mean, is that such a terrible thing in the paranormal? Sarah!
It depends what your intentions are. If you just want to go out to see what's out there on a personal level, awesome. If you're doing it and you're messing with someone else, like messing with someone who really is looking for some serious help or some serious answers, absolutely
Or
not.
trespassing.
Yeah.
Or trespassing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we broke into this studio
Don't
tonight
break
to
any
get this thing
laws.
on.
That should
Rob,
be kind of
What? I've never.
obvious.
thrill seeking?
You mean like jumping off a cliff or something out of a plane?
Or looking for the paranormal?
Oh, okay.
Either way.
Yeah, that's kind of cool going to a haunted house or
Yeah.
that
Like
swamp trip we did was pretty good.
Lizzie
A
Borden.
legend
Lizzie
trip.
Borden.
A legend
was fun.
trip.
A legend
trip.
Well, like
Yes,
Sarah
yes,
said, not
yes.
showing up at someone's house going, hey, I got something weird I don't understand. Can you come in and help me? And they're just running around going, come on, I command you to come out of the walls and start pounding on people's furniture. That's when it's not cool.
I mean, last week we played the video clip of when I was in Amityville, Long Island. I went, that's a legend trip, man. You go right
was
by
spooky.
the Amityville house, and the neighborhood is so beautiful. That's the funniest thing, is like if I drove you down that street, they're $1 million homes on a lake, beautifully manicured properties, and you're like, oh, that's the DeFeo house where 6 people were brutally murdered, by their son/brother.
Even though they changed the windows, it doesn't hide it.
Yeah, that's the Amityville house, and it's just, you stand there. That's the movies, that's the books, and it's really something.
But then again, you don't want to be going up to their door during dinner and ringing the doorbell going, is this the place where all them people got killed?
I can tell you, I bet that happens to them
Oh,
10
God.
times, because we were there for 10 minutes, and 2 or 3 cars pulled up just to take pictures. And if you're willing to do that, then I'm sure 1 in 10 are willing to walk up and knock on the door. So it must be brutal to live there, but I mean, I guess
Depends if you stopped at the bar before or after.
Yeah. Before. You gotta get up this courage to get over there. So yeah, all right. So what's the most compelling evidence you've ever seen, Matt? It's like the
Pick a
McLaughlin.
topic.
UFOs.
Most compelling evidence that I would have to say the things I've seen with my own 2 eyes, for me personally. As far as other stuff for other people, the soil I got from the Bentwaters case.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. We talked about that. That was one of our earlier episodes, right?
Correct.
The Rendlesham Forest, yeah. Amazing. Rob, most impressive evidence you've ever seen? Something that left you scratching your head? Our voice of reason?
Well, when I was a kid growing up in Franklin,
Right.
down a couple towns over, we had a lot of weird stuff happening in my house, like balls rolling across the kitchen, stuff. My mother used to find stuff in the stove.
Right.
TV used to go on and off by itself in my room.
And didn't you have a encounter with your grandma?
I did.
Let's
I did.
air it
I
out.
did.
Don't
I
worry,
did.
this is rehearsal.
Okay.
We're going to go real in a few minutes.
Well, she was really sick, and me and my sister, and both my sisters and myself went to visit her in her hospice.
Yeah.
And about a week later, may have even been like 3 or 4 days later, I just had a weird sensation, like something was pulling me up out of bed. And it was in the middle of the night. It was like 2 o'clock. My wife didn't wake up or nothing. I was just like, kind of like that. And I said, and I kind of knew what was going on. I said, it's okay, Grandma, you can go.
Yeah.
And the next day at work, my father called me and told me my grandmother died the night before,
Wow.
around 2 o'clock at night.
See? I mean, I think everyone has a story.
So even the
you know?
skeptic isn't so skeptical.
Yeah, see, everyone
I'm,
has a story.
He's always-
I'm skeptical of video clips and
Yeah, well, you should
camera
be.
shots
You
and stuff
should
like
be.
that.
Right.
You should be.
Well, yeah, well, that's one of the problems. When you've got all this, the iPhone that can insert a ghost into any picture. When you've got audio evidence that, can be so easily faked. When you've got Photoshop and kids that know how to, like 6-year-olds that can be like, oh, you want a UFO to lift the president off the podium? Watch,
Yeah.
So can we trust any of it anymore?
No, that's just it. We can't.
None.
For me, the video that was taken at the Tavern on Main in Chepachet, Rhode Island, because I know the people who were there shooting it. I've talked to the staff, the owner, customers that have gone into that place. I know that it is indeed haunted. So when I see that video, I think for me, I can't prove it to anybody else, but for me, because I know where that video came from, that's probably the best video of a ghost anyone will ever get to see.
What was in the video?
It was a stationary camera shooting at some chairs that Matt Moniz has identified as being Masonic chairs that were brought in as antiques into the place.
They were made of stone?
And people...
No, they're particular chairs. It's a Masonic ritual.
And people claim sitting at that table, they'll be eating and they'll watch their water glass slide across the table or silverware move, and they'll open up the restaurant in the morning and find the napkins have been taken off of the menus and tossed across. Well, so they figured, let's set the camera up on it. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon with the shades down. Headlights can't even come into the room to begin with.
Yeah.
And something just stands up out of the chair, and there's this head-shaped grayish object blocking the picture on the wall, and it starts to move toward the darkened corner and disappears. But as it moves toward the lighted part of the restaurant, you can make out an arm, a hand,
and the boots,
possibly something being held in the hand, and you hear the heel-to-toe ka-tunk on the wooden floor, and it's heading right in the direction of where the stables and where the horses would be tied up when it was a stagecoach, tavern.
We should see if we can get a copy of that video. That'd be cool.
Oh, matter of fact, I think it's even on Ghost Village, Jeff. I think it got submitted. I think Tom D'Agostino and the guys who took it, I think, submitted it to your website. It's 2007, I think. Look in the 2007 archives.
I'll look that up.
I also like the.
Look it up now.
I was gonna say I also like the video I got at Waverly.
Oh yeah, because I know because I know Matt. I know the video's legit.
Now we did show that, and that's a pretty cool clip. Walking down the hall, night vision. You turn around.
We're the only ones in the building.
Yeah, no, that is pretty amazing. But again, it has to be because you know.
I was there.
We trust it because you're there. You know the people that took it.
Anybody else who doesn't know Matt, he's full of beans.
And the guy videotaping is a 20-year Army veteran who knows all about night vision.
Yeah, he's walked around with night vision goggles on his head while eating his chow. Yeah.
So tell us, especially those of you listening in the chat room, tell us what kind of topics you want us to cover. I know right before the show we did get a call from someone who wants us to talk about the Jersey Devil, which is a great story. That really, we could do a whole show on that.
There's been some recent evidence on that story as well.
Yeah, so those of you who were too shy to call on the air, but called before the show started, and those of you who wondered where to watch, in general, probably the internet's your best bet. Anytime, 30oddminutes.com. And we want to hear from you, too. Be sure to send us your emails, info@30oddminutes.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can download us on iTunes. If you're downloading us on iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Unless you hate it, then give it 4, which I think is reasonable.
Someone gave you a serious shout-out in here, though.
What do we get?
Apparently, you went to some awesome cave in Upton that was uncovered, and now they're going to make it a park around it and make sure it stays a good part of the town's history.
That's the Upton Chamber.
Is that you? Are you responsible for that?
That was in one of my books, but I'm not allowed to mention that because of the station rules. But no, it was in one of my books. The Upton Chamber is actually, that could be a really cool field trip. If we could do a whole show from within the Upton Chamber, it would be really awkward.
Because it's small.
Because it's very small. It's very small. But yeah, no, the land was privately owned, but the town bought it, and I did hear that they're going to make it a park. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with it, because I can't imagine it's too safe for people to go.
Was it like for witches or?
Really, it seems to be. It's old. The sun would shine all the way in the back, like on a certain solstice. Like it's one of these things. Can't figure out what it could be for.
5 seconds.
Yeah, we got it. 30 seconds. We're good. And we got to wrap it up. Oh my gosh, we're out of time already.
Great.
Happy anniversary, John.
I'm not going to find out about the Upton Chamber.
That's so sweet. Hey, thank you guys for listening. Check in with us next time. Until then, stay odd.
Could you have worn pants? I mean, would it have killed you to wear pants?